Good morning, dear students. Hope you all are fit and fine. Children, in this topic, we are going to study about the electoral politics. What is electoral politics? So, children, now we are starting with the meaning of elections. What do you mean by elections? Election is a mechanism in which people can choose their representatives at regular intervals and change them if they wish to do so. This mechanism is called election. Now, children, the question comes, why do we need elections in democracy? There are many reasons that elections held in any democratic country. Like, the very first point says that countries like India practically is not possible for the people to sit together every day and take all decisions, nor everyone has the time and knowledge to take decisions on all matters. So in most democracies, people rule through their representatives, and elections provides a mechanism by which people can choose their representatives at regular intervals and change them if they wish to do so. So dear students, elections are essential in any representative democracy. Now students, the question comes, what are the choices a voter gets during the time of elections? No doubt, voters get many type of choices during the time of elections. Like, number one, they can choose who will make laws for them. Secondly, they can choose who will form the government and take major decisions. Even they can choose the parties whose policy will guide the government and lawmaking. Now we are going to understand what makes an elections democratic, or what are the features of democratic elections. Number one, everyone should be able to choose. It means that everyone should have one vote and every vote has one value. Secondly, there should be something to choose. The parties and the candidates should be free to contest elections and should offer some real choice to the voters. Children, the other reasons are, number three, the choice should be offered at regular intervals. It means that elections must be held regularly after every 5 years. The candidates preferred by the people should get elected, and the election should be conducted in a free and fair manner. This means that people can choose as they really wish. Now we are going to study about the demerits of the political or electoral competition in India. There are many demerits, like merits, no doubt. The first is, it creates a sense of disunity and fractionalism in every locality. It means that it has divided the people, the thinking of the people. Next is, different political parties and leaders often put allegations against one another. Sometimes political parties use dirty tricks to win elections, and moreover, pressure to win electoral fights does not allow sensible long-term policies to be formulated. But some good people who may wish to serve the country do not enter this field. This is one of the demerits of electoral competition in India. So, like demerits of political competition, there are also some advantages of political competition or electoral competition in India. First, regular electoral competition provides incentives to political parties and leaders. Secondly, they know that if they wish, if they raise issues that people want to be raised, their popularity and chances of victory increase in the next elections. And if they fail, they can't do to win the next elections. If any political party is motivated only by the desire to be in power, even then it will be forced to serve the people. And the political competition may cause division and ugliness, but it finally helps to force political parties and leaders to serve the people. Now children, finally, we can conclude that how can we call Indian elections are democratic? First, universal adult franchise. It means that all citizens they are getting a right to vote, and each person they have one vote must carry one value. Second is the electoral competition. It means that competition between political parties and various candidates. One political system or one party system is opposed to the spirit of democracy. Next is the elections at regular intervals. There are periodic elections in the democracy after every 5 years, and moreover the free and fair elections. In democracy, voters are subject not to pressurize or fear in elections. They choose the candidate according to their wishes. Now, the different types of elections in India, or the difference between general, by and mid-term elections. In India, general elections are held after every 5 years. It happens for the elections of Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha, which is also known as state assemblies. Lok Sabha or Vidhan Sabha stand dissolved after every 5 years. Elections are held in all constituencies at the same time, either on the same day or within few days. Like the first general elections was held in 1952 and the 15th Lok Sabha elections held in April to May 2009. Now children, what do you understand by the term by-elections? By-elections means that the elections which is held only for one constituency to fill the vacancy which is caused by the death or the resignation of a member. This type of elections which is held in between the term, that is known as by-elections. And the third type of elections that happen in the country is the mid-term elections. Mid-term elections held when the Lok Sabha or State Assembly may be dissolved before the completion of its tenure of 5 years. Then, in fact, the expression mid-term election has no legal significance because elections to the Lok Sabha is invariably called the general elections. Now the term comes the electoral constituencies. Now, what is electoral constituencies? Electoral constituencies means that when the country is divided into different areas for the purposes of elections, and these areas are called electoral constituencies. The voters who live in an area elect one representative. Like for example, in Lok Sabha elections, the country is divided into 543 constituencies and the representative elected from each constituency is known as the Member of Parliament or the MP. One of the features of democratic election is that everyone should have one vote and each vote counts one value. That is why our constitution requires that each constitution should have roughly equal population living within the country. Apart from constituencies, there are some constituencies which are also known as reserve constituencies. Now children, what is reserve constituencies? In our constitution, the makers of our constitution feels that there are some class in the society who need special representatives, and for them the people who belong to scheduled caste, which are also called as SCs, and scheduled tribes known as STs, they should be given some reservation in the elections, and for that purpose reserve constituencies was created. Currently in Lok Sabha, 79 seats are reserved for scheduled caste and 41 for scheduled tribes. Now what is voters list? In any democratic elections, the list of those who are eligible to vote is prepared, and this is officially called as electoral rolls, and which is in common language known as voters list, and this is one of the important condition of any democratic elections. Now when the elections announced, the first thing that start with the starting of announcing of election is the election campaign. The main purpose of this election campaign is to give the people the chance to choose the representatives and the government and their policies. In our countries, such campaigns take place for 2-week period between the announcement of the final list of the candidate and the polling date. During this period, the candidate contact their voters, political leaders, and mobilize political support for them. Even the Election Commission has given some guidelines that the political leaders has to follow during the time of election campaign as well as during the time of elections. Like for example, bribe or to threaten voters is not allowed. Appeal in the name of religion or caste is not allowed. Use government resources for election campaign is not allowed, and for a constituency not more than 20 lakh is to be spent. Any use of public place for election propaganda is totally banned, and use of government vehicles, aircrafts and officials for election is totally banned. Once elections are announced, the minister shall not lay foundation stone of any project, any big policy decisions or make any promise of the providing public facilities. So these are some of the laws that are passed by the Election Commission. Overall, there are some challenges that the Indian elections face. Like for example, candidates and parties with lot of money may not be sure of their victory, but they enjoy a big and unfair advantages over a small and independent political parties. In some parts of the country, sometimes the people with criminal background, they participate in the elections. Sometimes the families tend to dominate political parties, and very few elections offer a little choice to the ordinary people. So these are some of the challenges that is faced by the Indian elections.